Hi everyone! You may notice a change in scenery. I did move, which is kind of scary because that shooting in Boulder happened less than 5 miles from my old place. So, yikes. But let's jump right into today's video. I recently watched Anna's analysis video titled "People Can't Take Criticism on Social Media," and it inspired me to respond to some of the comments on my video about Ellen Fisher being a Trump supporter. Anna talks about the difference between criticism and hate and how so many people conflate these two things. Fair criticism is often construed as hate and vice versa. There's of course some subjectivity as to what is considered fair and what is hateful, but I encourage you to watch my original video because I don't think I was being hateful, like at all. I was simply discussing my thoughts on her Instagram post where she revealed her right-wing political leanings to a largely progressive audience. I think the comments speak to the very pervasive problem of toxic positivity in our society. It is morally righteous to only speak positively about others publicly, and to mind your own business if an influencer says or does something you disagree with. There were so many comments along the lines of, "Live and let live," "Leave her alone," "Who she votes for is her business," and comments telling me I'm being judgmental, intolerant, and divisive. Again, my criticism was very mild. I made it clear in my video that I don't think Ellen is a bad person, and I hadn't unsubscribed because I still value her content. Nowhere did I attack her character or condone the harassment or hate she received. As Anna pointed out in her video, these comments reveal a stunning level of hypocrisy. They are criticizing me for criticizing Ellen. And some of these comments were much more harsh in tone than I was towards Ellen. If you think it's so wrong to criticize people on social media, then why would you leave a critical comment on my video? I've said this many times before, but accusing someone of being judgmental is a judgment. Everybody judges. Judgment is a neutral term. There is good judgment and poor judgment. Colloquially, judgmental implies that someone is being too harsh in their judgment. If you're going to accuse someone of being judgmental, provide an actual argument and give a specific example. What part of their criticism was too harsh, and why? Regarding my video being divisive, perhaps it was. But it's impossible to unify everyone. Politics is inherently divisive. What is the alternative? Sweeping shit under the rug? We can't solve our differences by ignoring them. Personally, I think it's important to highlight the insidious messaging of influencers who come across as wholesome and innocent on the surface. Another recurring theme in the comment section was the trivialization of political differences. Comments along the lines of, "She has the right to her opinion, it's a free country." This was often expressed with verbiage like, "Let her support who she wants, she's allowed to have a different opinion." As if criticism from some stranger on YouTube is threatening her freedom of speech and voting rights. Of course she's allowed to express her opinion, and I'm allowed to express mine. And other comments like, "Who cares? What does it matter to you? People have different opinions, get over it." I care because right-wing policies cause harm. It matters to me because I don't want society to collapse due to climate change. It's not a mere difference of opinion, and framing it as such downplays the harm caused by conservative ideologies. I discussed the paradox of tolerance in my video. A society that is tolerant of everything could not function. Tolerance, like judgment, is value neutral. It's the substance that matters. What exactly are we tolerant or intolerant of, and why? Conservatives demonstrate time and time again that they have no concept of what freedom actually means. They're so obsessed with the word freedom, like, "You can't take away my freedom." Freedom is like tolerance. There are limits. In a free society, and I mean free in the freest practical sense, you are not free from consequences. You're not free to infringe on the freedom of others. In the United States of America, you are free to vote for a fascist. And I am free to tell you that voting for a fascist infringes on the freedom of others. Those who vote for fascists should be criticized for limiting others' freedom, not praised for exercising their freedom. This comment is hilarious. Apparently, I'm trying to make Ellen look bad. If I didn't make political content, just vlogs like Ellen, and some conservative channel made a video about me, revealing that I was a Bernie supporter, and presented evidence of my YouTube subscriptions and posts I've liked on socialist Instagram pages, I would laugh my ass to sleep. Clearly, that wouldn't make me look bad. I mean, it might make me look bad to conservatives, but why would I give a shit what conservatives think of me? I am confident in my beliefs, and if Ellen is confident in hers, then she shouldn't be bothered by my video. If I misrepresented her in any way, she is free to correct me. She is free to publicly denounce Trump to clear her name. To those saying that I'm just jealous of Ellen, I explicitly said in my video that that is not the case. Honestly, I would not trade places with Ellen. As adorable as her kids are, I don't want any children, let alone 4. That is way too much responsibility. But even if I were jealous of Ellen, my criticism would still be valid. Supporting Trump does not align with vegan ethics. And to the people saying I have way too much time on my hands and I need to get a life and stop being a stalker, sounds like you're jealous that you don't have as much free time as me. I'm kidding, but what this implies is that criticizing public figures is not an appropriate use of time. But criticism is very important because we can't let harmful beliefs go unchallenged. I suspect that the person who first informed me that Ellen was a Trump supporter found out because Instagram shows you if someone you follow likes a post. They could have been casually looking at right-wing pages and noticed that Ellen and Andrew were very active on them, and decided to look a bit deeper on their public social media pages to confirm. If that's stalking, we're all stalkers. And then there were a bunch of comments like, I like her even more now, thanks, #MAGA, #Trump 2020. I find it interesting that while there are many proud conservatives, others, like Ellen, choose to hide their beliefs, which is the point I made in my pinned comment. Also, you gotta laugh at the victim complex that some conservatives have. We all know how much hate Trump supporters receive. Trump's hateful rhetoric, excusable. The emotional response it provokes, inexcusable. You can't incessantly bully someone and then turn around and call them a bully for fighting back. It reminds me of MLK's quote about riots. But it is not enough for me to stand before you tonight and condemn riots. It would be morally irresponsible for me to do that without, at the same time, condemning the contingent, intolerable conditions that exist in our society. These conditions are the things that cause individuals to feel that they have no other alternative than to engage in violent rebellions to get attention. And I must say tonight that a riot is the language of the unheard. You can condemn the poor behavior of progressives, but you should first acknowledge and condemn the rhetoric and conditions that gave rise to it. Condemn the hate directed at Trump supporters, but also condemn the hate Trump espouses. And stop conflating criticism with hate. I'm not saying Ellen is a bully, okay? But she supports one. And no, we don't know the extent to which she supports Trump. She probably doesn't like his crude behavior and mean tweets. But it's pretty clear from the limited information we have that she's a conservative and votes Republican. Anti-Trump Republicans are still awful. We can't let Trump sanitize the image of previous Republican presidents like Bush and Reagan. Just because they weren't as brazen and overtly offensive as Trump doesn't mean they weren't odious bullies. Several comments implied that I was committing the guilt by association fallacy. Andrew follows Democratic politicians as well. Maybe he just follows right-wing pages to keep up with the news. Just because Ellen follows Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro doesn't mean she agrees with everything they say. She keeps her feed diverse because she wants to avoid creating an echo chamber. This was my exact thought process because I didn't want to believe it. Who you follow doesn't say much, but what you like and share speaks volumes. It would be fallacious to assume that she holds a specific belief that Candace Owens holds because she follows her on Instagram. It's not fallacious, however, to assume that she has respect for Candace Owens because she regularly likes her posts. And why would she respect Candace Owens? Because she agrees with her on some level. Although they may disagree on a few topics, she generally supports what she is doing with her platform. Which is a red flag considering almost everything Candace Owens says is complete dog shit, and she primarily uses her platform to spread propaganda. It's specific political posts that Ellen has liked that indicate what her views are. That is what I'm criticizing her for. Her right-wing beliefs do not align with her vegan ethic and hippie vibe. And as for her YouTube subscriptions, it's really not that politically diverse. I see that she follows Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, and the Daily Wire, but I don't see her following a single left-wing media source. Your subscriptions don't reveal everything, but they reveal something. These people she follows heavily push this idea that the woke mob is out to cancel them. They play the victim like they're being silenced. In no way am I silencing Ellen. She has a massive platform. I have no authority over her. Again, she has the right to share her opinion, and I have the right to criticize her. I don't think cancel culture is a black and white issue. I do think it exists to a certain extent. But the term has been bastardized by conservatives. They conflate any and all public criticism directed at them as cancel culture. But when they engage in criticism of the left, that's not cancel culture. Conservatives act like they're thinking for themselves and rejecting the mainstream narrative, forgetting that white supremacy, for example, has been the mainstream narrative for centuries. People are just now starting to wake up. It's not brave to come out against BLM. You're defending the status quo. And this idea that the media has a left bias is absurd. The media has a neoliberal bias. They run with whatever narrative is popular at the time to maximize profit. Certain progressive movements have tipped the scales in their favor, but it took great effort to win mainstream approval. Those who push back are not brave souls speaking truth to power. They're stragglers. As Anna said in her video, which you should definitely go watch after this, people have selective hearing. Nowhere did I say that I hope her career fails or announce my exit. I explicitly said that I was still subscribed as I appreciate Ellen's content and believe she has good intentions. This person later admitted they didn't bother watching my video. But yeah, people hear things that were never said or even implied. Lastly, I think that people should be judged for the entirety of what they post on social media, not for what they don't post. Demanding that people post about something and harassing them if they don't sets an impossible standard to live up to. I understand the sentiment behind the phrase silence is violence, and I think we should encourage people with large platforms to speak up on important issues. But social media advocacy is a moral virtue, not an obligation. That said, if you're gonna go out of your way to make a post, maybe just show support rather than present an argument for why you shouldn't have to post about it. Those are my thoughts on that. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, and stay tuned for next week. Alright, peace out.
Yo, how when me eat them, I wonder when me eat. When me tell them say me no eat no fish, no meat now. How when me eat them, I wonder when me yam. When me tell them say that I'm a vegan man. How when me eat them, I wonder when me eat.